if you want, let's say, a mom, a dad, a sibling, to come to Japan, there are actually two routes the person can come. I'm going to give you a practical example of what I used. Then they'll ask you to choose three tentative dates. Yes, three tentative dates and time the person can come. So you pick up your passport and voila, you are ready for your trip. So hey guys, and welcome back. Welcome back. I always make that mistake. Welcome back to the channel. It's Chilo here once again, as always. So yeah, what's today's video about? Today's video is about applying, or how to go about applying for a visitor's visa, especially as a temporary resident here in Japan. Now, why am I doing this video? So guys, it's almost very common like to see videos about how to bring a spouse, how to bring a child, dependent routes. I even have a video like that here where I featured Akuna, and she talked about the whole process about bringing a spouse to Japan on a dependent visa. Those kind of videos are kind of understandable because okay, a spouse, they will not deny, it's your husband or it's your wife, that kind of thing. But then very few people talk about the whole visitor visa route, or especially as a temporary resident. By temporary resident, I mean if you are in a country that is not your home country and you're not yet a permanent resident or a citizen, you are classified a temporary resident, even though you are legally there, even though you're a student or you're a worker or something. Now, so today I'll be walking you guys through the process of getting a visitor's visa as a temporary resident here in Japan. Now guys, as at the time that I'm making this video, my mom will be in Japan in about 2 weeks time, but this video will definitely be going up much later, especially because I think it will be going up with my graduation series, because you guys will get to know the main purpose of why she is coming to Japan. But I decided to do this video now because I don't want to forget anything, because if I leave it till when my graduation series will be rolling out, I might forget, and I might not I might leave out some things unintentionally. Also, another disclaimer guys is I'm making this video in 2023, and with these things could change, policies could change. So I always advise that when you watch videos like this, still confirm for yourself, just so that it's not like this is a one bus stop kind of video. I'm going to be sharing strictly from my experience. I'm not a travel agent or anything, but I do this kind of videos from time to time on my channel to help people or just share my experience. So yeah, let's get right into this video. I'm excited guys. So I divided this video into different segments. At this moment now, I don't have a script, I don't have a particular number of steps, but I'm just going to be talking as I'm going, right? Hopefully Holy Spirit helps me. So when you want to come to Japan, when you want to embark on this thing as a temporary resident, the first step is research. The very first step is you have to do your research. Now, why? Now, when I did my research, I found out that if you want, let's say, a mom, a dad, a sibling, to come to Japan, there are actually two routes the person can come. The person can come as a dependent, that is the certificate of eligibility route, or the person can come with a visiting visa, which is just a visiting visa route. Now, what's the difference, you might be wondering? Now, with dependent, a person coming as a dependent, right, which is very similar to what Akuna explained on my channel. I will link that video down below. When you are coming with the certificate of eligibility, that's COE route, right, your visa is tentatively longer because they are going to give you a visa based on the person that is filing for you. That's in my case now, based on my case. So if my visa here is still 20 years, which is, I'm just exaggerating, they will give the person 20 years. So it's a dependent thing. You're dependent on me, so my visa validity is a prerequisite for your own visa validity. But for visiting visa, it's a shorter period. So let's say you've told them you want to be here for 30 days or 1 month, they'll probably give you the same 30 days or 1 month. As of now, I'm making this video, my mom's visa is out. She's here for 30 days or 1 month maximum. So yeah, that's the kind of visa you get as a visiting visa. So that's the first step. You have to do your research, know what each step entails. If you're going with the certificate of eligibility route, what does it entail? What's the validity like? What's the pros? What are the cons? Do you have people? So for my research stage, right, I had to interact or ask questions to some people that I know that have gone through the whole bringing a mother or bringing a parent to Japan or a sibling to Japan. I really had to ask questions. I remember one of the days I even had to go to someone's like office space and just like really ask questions. All my concerns I asked. So that's the first step. Do your research and know which of these routes you want to use. And the second stage would be deciding on the route. I'm going to give you a practical example of what I use, deciding on the route. So like I said in the first step, there is the visiting visa route and then there is a certificate of eligibility route, right? And for us, we decided that we're going to use the visiting visa route. Now, why? So in case you're new here, my husband is also here in Japan, and it was either I file or he files, but we're like, proving the relationship from my husband's axis is going to be longer because he first have to prove that I'm his wife and then prove that my mother is my mother. Or proving it with my own is going to be more direct because I will just prove, oh, it's my mom, surname, even birth certificate and all. It's easier. So we could just agreed, okay, I will do the filing, like I'm going to do the filing, not my husband. First step. Now, why am I giving this backdrop, this background story, is this context? Is because now for my own visa, right, my visa, so I'll be graduating. That's another thing. My mom is coming here for my graduation, so there is a purpose to her visit actually. So that's something that proved our point, right? So my graduation is in September, right? And my visa is valid till like December, except I change, or get a job or get the job hunting visa or change to a dependent on my husband's visa, right? But for now, as I am talking and making this video, my visa is valid till December. So in our head, we're like, if visa is valid to December now, we've agreed that I'm doing the filing, it doesn't make sense that visa is ending December and you want to do certificate of eligibility, which is a longer route, because COE means that Japan here will do the clearance for me, my background, everything. Am I capable to have someone dependent on me here, blah blah blah, and then they will give me that COE that I will send to the person. So most times once you can prove to Japan here and get COE, it's almost always a guarantee that the embassy will give the person a visa because they believe that these people have done their background job. So in my head, I'm like, this thing is going to raise an eyebrow because you're supposed to be leaving our country in December. So which one are you saying you want to bring a dependent like that's going to stay long? So I felt like going through that dependent route is going to raise an eyebrow, so we decided to go with visiting visa. Also because my mom is actually not here for a long time. She's a very busy person in Nigeria, so there was no reason why we would have said, okay, let's really fight for a longer visa. That was the second step, deciding on the route. So we decided on using the visiting visa route. Now, after deciding on this, I had to now have a full-blown, I remember I had to go and have a dinner self with someone that I knew firsthand that brought their sibling and mom or something with the visiting visa. So this person explained everything to me, told me this, told me that, these are the pros, these are the difference with this and see. Because initially my fear too was that with COE, when you're sure that you've cleared with Japan here, right, there's guarantee the person will get. But visiting visa, everything is on the hands of the home country. So if they decide not to give, there is nothing you can do about it. So I wanted to push the power so much on this end. But the girl I spoke to, told me that it's not that deep, it's not that hard actually, that as long as you can prove the reason why this person is coming, the visa will come through. She's actually not Nigerian, but she's an African. So I was like, okay, I still had my doubt because I'm like, this African country, some of us are different, but I was like, I believe actually it shouldn't be that deep. So that's the second step, deciding on which of the routes. So I decided that I'm going to use the visiting visa route for my mom. So if you're doing COE, actually, you have to go to the immigration in your city. You go there and make enquiries on how to apply for COE, the documents you need. I think even the website, official website, is going to do that for you. Like on your phone, you can just check maybe embassy of immigration office or something, maybe check the website as it regards the requirements. But for me, I decided on visiting route. So the next step I had to do was to go to the embassy, the official website of Embassy of Japan in Nigeria, because I'm Nigerian, right? I don't know if I did that introduction. I'm Nigerian, so you have to go to the official website. So I went to the official website, and then when you go to that website, you're going to go to the visa section. When you go to the visa section, you have to check for the visiting visa section, right? That's the axis, or that's the place you're looking for, and go through the requirement, what they're asking for, what they will require, and start preparing the documents on time. But just familiarize yourself with the website. Is it doable? Is it possible? The things that they are requiring or the things that they are demanding from you. So that's the third step for visiting visa. And the fourth step is now gathering the documents. So I don't know, I feel like this thing, maybe it might vary from embassy to embassy or country to country, but I have a printout. You guys know that I always say I like printing out these things. I have a printout here of the documents, or the things, like if you guys can see, purpose, visiting relative. Can you see? Yeah, so I have a printout of this thing because it helps me to gather the documents on time. So the things that they ask for. Now, another thing to note for this particular point is that, okay, in the embassy or in the website, if there's a place for guarantor, there's a place for sponsor and all. Now, depending on who is the guarantor or who is the sponsor, I think the documents would vary. Now, once again, we decided, now as sponsor, it means the person is going to book the ticket and everything. We decided that everything should come from our end. Reason being that my mom is advanced, my mom is not really the whole internet person, or so to say. Okay, we wanted to do as much of the work as possible and just send the documents down to her, so that the only thing she's just attaching is her international passport, a photograph or something. We didn't want to leave so much of the work for her to do. So we decided that sponsor, guarantor is going to come from our end. So now, as a sponsor, there are things they will require from you. As a guarantor, there are things they will require from you. So I'm just going to read out some of the requirements, the things that I had to gather over here. First one is residence certificate. So residence certificate, guys, is more like a certificate that is going to show the record you've had so far in the city or in the country. Things like your address, things like your address, your name, everything. So I feel like the reason for this is they want to confirm your address, you have a place, you've been resident there, you're actually there. It's just like a proof or something. Residence. So this one, you get it from the ward office, like the city office. You go there and apply for it. You get this one immediately, right? Now, the next thing is certificate of income. Is more like, since you're saying you're the sponsor, right, you have to show, what gives you money, or what, or, just how you are going to fund this, right? For me, I gave my certificate of stipend. So if you are not new to this channel, you know that I'm on scholarship, and so we get stipends every month, and research grants and all those things. So usually at the start of every academic year, we are actually issued something like an official certificate of stipend, but then I still even applied for an official one. So I had two I even sent down, just in case they say that one was not official. So if you're working, the person I asked questions is working, you show your certificate of income and what you've been earning over a period of time or something like that. But yeah, I think it's just to prove that you can do this. So this one took me like 1 week or even less. So that's another thing, guys. This video is all over the place, but please just flow with me. That's why I'm doing it in step by step. Start on time, because some of these documents, that's why I said familiarize yourself with the website, so that mentally you start knowing the one that will take time, and start on time, because some of these documents will need you to give them time, some will take a little time. And also, I actually mentally knew that I wanted my mom to come for my graduation. So when we entered 2023 and I knew I was graduating, I started to ask questions here and there. And so mentally, even before I went to the States, I asked questions and I started to prepare for it. So I started the process on time, just to prevent any story, because even the embassy in Nigeria will require that you give them time from when you apply and when they will issue you a visa. So yeah, like I said, back to the requirement, certificate of income. The next one is residence card, front and back. So the residence card is your normal residence card of you're staying here in Japan, and then birth certificate for me. So one of the things here is something that proves your relationship with the person. For me, it's because it's my mother, it's birth certificate. So I don't know who you're applying for that you will have something to prove your ties. My own is my mom. Her name is boldly written on my birth cert. So it was so easy to like to prove our relationship. So I used birth cert. So I already had that one, so I didn't have to wait for it. Visa application form. So the embassy also has an an application form for people that are applying. You have to fill like things like your name or the applicant's name, like my mom's name, her international passport number, those things that normal application forms have, age, year of birth, those kind of things, purpose of visit, those kind of things are what you would fill in the application form, and that form is downloadable. You can download it from the official website. Then the next thing is flight reservation slip. Yes, the embassy is going to require you to book a flight. Now this is very confusing. My husband is of the opinion that it's not like you have to book the flight, it's like you have to reserve it at least. But me here, we're like, to prevent anything that will smell like a foul play, let's book down the flight, because we're just having faith that they will not deny her the visa. So the embassy will require or mandate that you reserve a round trip, just to prove that you're coming back, I think, or just to prove that you have a ticket going and coming. And then the next one is invitation letter. Have to submit an invitation letter from the person that you're going to visit, because you're a visiting visitor. Who are you going to visit? I don't know if this applies to tourists too. I'm confused about that, but yeah. So the letter is actually a downloadable form. It's not like you have to draft a full-blown dear sir / ma. Yours, it's a full letter. It's a letter there. You just have to I just had to type in my name, Chioma, type in this, why I want her to come, what is she coming for. So I just said she's coming for my PhD graduation and those kind of things. So you download it from the website too. Next one is itinerary. This one was very funny. So even if the person is staying for 40 days, the embassy wants you to write day 1, day 2, day 3, the date, what this person will be doing till day 40. I'm not even joking, I'm not capping. From the day the person steps into Japan to the day the person is leaving. I think that was the one that took me more time, because thinking of those things. Thankfully, my African sister, the girl I used, the African girl, was very helpful. She helped me with a template. You have to tell them what the person will be doing, even though the lady I spoke to told me that they are not going to be calling you every day to confirm, did you go here, like you said, did you go here, like, but they just want to see that you have a plan. You're not just inviting someone to come here and be a liability in their society, but like you have a plan too. So the itinerary is like just showing what this person will be up to. And I remember intentionally that particular day of graduation, I put the graduation so that they will know that this thing is not a lie. Then the next one is letter of guarantee. So this is also a downloadable form from the website, where I just had to fill in my name, my this. I will guarantee in case anything goes wrong. If you need to trace this person, you can find her through me. I take any liability if anything goes wrong. Like, what a guarantor will usually do, that's the same thing, but you don't have to draft it. The template is on their website. The next one is certificate of deposit balance. So this one, you have to go to your bank and tell them you need a certificate of balance to show your balance at the moment. I said you have to put certificate of income previously, but this one now is like your bank will say this is the money in your account as of now, and the embassy will usually mandate that deposit balance you're showing them should not be more than 1 month when the person is going for visa. So you know how to do that one. So I used JP Bank. I went there and I just asked them. So this one didn't take long. This one took like the same day. I think I got this one the same day too. Certificate of deposit, but it shows the actual amount in your account as of that day, as of the night before that day. So you just know the amount that is reasonable. My mom is staying for like 3 weeks or a month. So Amazon we discussed, and then that African sister were like, okay, this is the amount that I feel like should be in the account that would look reasonable to the consulate or the person that is issuing the visa. So yeah. and then international passport pages. So I too had to send my international passport page, both the information page and the page that has stamps, everything. I sent everything. I have two passport booklets now. I sent both of them, both the old and the new, so they will require that. Then there's also a place for supporting information if you need to prove your case. So for me, for that one, I attached my expected graduation printout. So in my school, in my uni, there is this machine that you can always go anytime. I can print it 10 times a day, but you can shy always go. I'm joking. You can go almost anytime and just put your student registration number, and it will print out anything you asked. Like, so I can print like my enrollment. When I enrolled into my school, I can print my graduation. So I printed my graduation to prove, because the graduation stated boldly that I'll be graduating in September, to prove my case that truly I'm graduating, and that's why I want her here. Then I also added my enrollment certificate, my scholarship certificate, anything I just felt like would be necessary. So just go through these documents. It's quite a lot, go through it and know the ones that apply to you. Some that apply to you might not apply to me because of my context. Some that applies to me might not apply to you because of your context. That's why I started with saying do your research, visit the website, and then I'm just saying the ones I did. Then next thing, this is the fourth step. I'm mixing this thing up. The fourth step is to send down the document. So they don't usually require original. I think they understand that it's not easy to send down originals, with the distance and all. So I just sent everything via email to a sister friend who helped me to print everything and take to my mom. And she printed everything in colored and took to my mom. So the only thing my mom had to add was her international passport, her passport photograph. I don't know if I wrote, okay, her international passport, her passport photograph, her bank statement. So that bank statement, we didn't know if she needed to or not. At the point we're like, she doesn't. I called the embassy to ask, because there was a place they asked for employment letter from her showing that she's gainfully employed. My mom is a businesswoman, I was like, I don't know. I called the embassy and they were like, well, if you say it doesn't apply to her, then leave it. But we're like, let's just add bank statement to show that this person is not doing bad in Nigeria too. Do you understand? So she added her bank statement of 3 months. It's actually one of the requirements, but we didn't know if it was a compulsory one. That's why I said go through this. So that was the 3 things she added. So the next thing we had to do, which is the 5th step, I think, or 4th step now at this point, it was to book the appointment. Now, Japan, the embassy would require that you don't just show up. Of course, every embassy, you have to book an appointment. So they would require you send an email to a particular email address. So I sent an email on behalf of my mom, and then I told them, I said some things, and then they will ask you to choose 3 tentative dates. Yes, 3 tentative dates and time the person can come. We chose 3 dates and time, and we try to keep this within the 1 month validity of my bank statement and her bank statement. Thankfully, they chose one, or they said, okay, which is the best choice. It was available, so the appointment was sealed, like they approved it. And then they asked that we bring the printout, or she brings the printout to the embassy, right? So she printed the printout and then went to Abuja. So yeah, that's another thing. The embassy of Japan in Nigeria is actually in Abuja. Now, usually when you have all your documents, most times they might not even say so much to you. As soon as you enter and it's your time, you just have to submit those things. Because according to her, she didn't really say much. The thing doesn't take too long. You submit your passport. They will give you a slip, a slip that shows that, like a receipt or something, that they are with your passport or something. And if you want someone to pick up for you, you have to write authorization letter and then give the person that receipt. It's just a lot, but first things first, go for your visa appointment. Now, usually they will tell you that applicants are required to apply for visa at least 2 weeks before departure date. So my mom's flight is for next 2 weeks, and she got her visa like last 2 weeks or so, last 3 weeks. So we give them ample time because they don't want you to rush them and all those kind of things. Because the visa will usually take days. On their website, they'll tell you within 7 to 10 days. So the next step is to wait. When you wait, if your visa is approved, they are going to send an email to the same mail that you used to book the appointment. Do you get it? Now, even if you came and you dropped a phone number or anything, if they are replying that your passport is ready, it's the email you used in booking the visa the appointment, that they will reply. So they replied me, because I was the one that sent that email with my mail account. They replied me saying that the visa was ready for pickup and that we can come and pick up, or she can come and pick up, or somebody can pick up with all the requirements if you're sending a third party. So my parents are not based in Abuja, they are based in the south, so we had to get someone. My elder brother had to get someone to help us and pick the passport. Thankfully, before she left Abuja after her visa appointment, she dropped an authorization letter for the person, dropped her receipts, dropped something again. For you to go and pick up your passport again, you actually still need to book an appointment for passport pickup. So you pick up your passport and voila, you are ready for your trip. So yeah, I don't know if I'm forgetting anything or if I missed out anything. Once again, guys, this is not an exhaustive list. Please also go and check the website, do your research, because at the end of the day, things might vary. Like I said, guarantor, and or you might, if you're not the guarantor, the things you're supposed to send might be different from my own. If you're not the sponsor, like, you get what I'm trying to say. So still do your research. I've mentioned the places, check websites, ask people that came, gather these things here and there and pursue it. But yeah, it's actually possible to apply for a visiting visa. I think that's actually the main aim of this video, because I've not really seen so much of this kind of videos. But yeah, it's actually possible to apply for a visiting visa for a relative, even when you're a student or a temporary person. Yeah, so you can add anything as supporting. Some people add even their house contract to show that they have a house. Some people add so many things. I think I even remember adding my student ID card. I scanned it to prove that I'm a valid student. So just check the website. So yeah, that's all for this video, guys. You can see that I'm very excited. I hope you find this video helpful. I'm sorry if my thoughts were everywhere, my mojo was everywhere. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did enjoy shooting it. See you next time on Chilotalks. Bye for now, guys.